Hey there. Okay, I know you're under a massive time crunch with that huge paper due tomorrow, so go ahead and grab your notepad. Consider this explainer your ultimate cheat code study guide to mastering local government personnel systems. We're going to break down exactly how governments manage their workforces, and we're going to do it super efficiently. Okay, let's dive right into this. To really wrap your head around this topic for your paper, I want you to imagine you just landed a job at your local city council. Who actually decides your paycheck? Who decides if you get a promotion? Or worse, who decides if you get fired? It sounds like a super simple question, but the answer depends entirely on which of the three administrative systems your government is using. All right, here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the local HR dilemma, then look at the separated system for total local control, followed by the integrated system for centralized power, and the fusion system, which is the hybrid approach. Then we'll compare career mobility options, and finally, wrap up with the big takeaways you'll need for your paper. Section 1. The local HR dilemma. Think about it. Every single local council on Earth has to figure out exactly how to handle their staff. Do they get complete independence to run the show themselves? Do they hand over control to a centralized national body for maximum efficiency? Or do they try to awkwardly mix the two? The source material we're studying today breaks this exact dilemma down into three distinct HR systems that dictate literally everything about a government job, from starting salary to long-term promotion prospects. All right, Section 2, the separated system, which is all about total local control. If you're outlining your definitions, jot this down exactly. The separated personnel system, also known as a closed system, is one where local councils operate as completely autonomous units. Think of them almost like standalone private businesses. They set their own rules, they determine their own terms of service, and they don't answer to some big national headquarters. They run their own show. So, what's it like working here? Well, on the plus side, there's full decentralization. You might develop incredible organizational loyalty, and the council can actually tweak your salary to match local living standards just to attract top-tier talent. But the downsides are pretty rough. You might suffer from lower morale because your career mobility is severely limited. You're fighting tooth and nail for rare promotions. Plus, these standalone councils often struggle with training shortages and pretty high staff turnover.
The absolute kicker with this closed system is the consequence of being in that isolated loop. The local government has 100% autonomy over hiring and firing, but for you, the employee, there is absolutely zero transferability to other organizations. If you want to leave your council to work for a neighboring town, you can't just transfer. No way. Your only way out is to completely resign and start over. Moving to the total opposite end of the spectrum, Section 3, the integrated system, centralized power. Here's the definition you need for this one. Under the integrated system model, all council staff everywhere are managed by one single central body or commission. It's totally centralized. It's highly analogous to a massive national public service commission. Basically, one single central body is pulling all the strings for everyone everywhere. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive shift in power dynamics. In the separated system, your local boss has full autonomy to hire and fire you. But in the integrated system, the local guys have zero say. A special central commission, like the JPA, for example, holds the ultimate authority over your employment status. Now, as an employee in an integrated system, this is a pretty sweet deal. You get massive mobility for promotions, access to elite centralized training like Intan, and the system perfectly pulls talent to help out smaller, struggling councils. But from a government management perspective, it's a huge challenge. Trade unions have way more leverage to demand higher pay across the board. The central body constantly has to subsidize those smaller councils. And honestly, trying to force uniform standards across every single diverse town is practically impossible. Which brings us to our middle ground. Section 4, the fusion system, the hybrid approach. Definitely highlight this part for your paper, especially if you need a solid real-world example. The fusion personnel system is a hybrid framework. It literally smashes together elements of both the separated and integrated models. The absolute best working example of this in action is the framework practiced within the Malaysian local government context. So, how on earth do they share power in this hybrid model? It's actually fascinating. The local council keeps its basic administrative autonomy for standard hiring, but the federal government steps in to assist when it comes to filling high-level professional vacancies. This creates these nice, standardized conditions that are a lifesaver for smaller councils. But here's the twist with discipline. The local government can hire you, But if they want to fire a top-tier Group A employee, they literally have to get approval from the state government first.
So the crucial point here is that trying to have the best of both worlds creates its own unique mess. Because it's a hybrid, it waters down the council's local autonomy. It completely blocks larger, wealthier cities from just offering higher salaries to poach top talent because they're stuck following standardized rules. You've got the constant risk of the federal government dictating local affairs. And for the workers, you're still dealing with a significant lack of motivation because transferring between councils is still heavily restricted.
Section 5. Comparing career mobility options. If you want a strong central theme for your essay, it's this: career mobility. It's the ultimate differentiator. In both the separated and the fusion systems, your ability to transfer is practically zero, which directly tanks motivation and morale. But in the integrated system, the central body actively supervises movement between councils, meaning your mobility and chances to climb the ladder are totally unrestricted. Okay, real talk. If you're writing your paper tomorrow, I highly recommend you pause this explainer right now and take a screenshot of this master matrix. This chart, straight from our source material, summarizes the exact advantages, disadvantages, and rules for all three systems. It is quite literally the blueprint for structuring your essay.
And finally, Section 6. Final takeaways for your paper.
Now, what's really brilliant about this slide is how perfectly it distills the trade-offs for your conclusion paragraph. The separated system prioritizes absolute local autonomy and customized pay, but completely sacrifices your career mobility. The integrated system maximizes the talent pool and centralized training, but totally strips away local control. And the fusion system is that Malaysian hybrid model, desperately trying to balance top-down standards with bottom-up hiring power.
To really lock this into your brain before you start writing, I want you to critically apply this. If you were starting your career in local government tomorrow, which system would you actually want to work under? Are you going for separated, fusion, or integrated? Do you value local loyalty, or do you want that massive upper mobility? Keep that in mind as you write. Good luck on your paper tomorrow. You are absolutely going to crush it. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and I'll see you next time.